Now let me ask you this. If I took your numbers from last year, $21.5 million over a span of 47 transactions, and I showed you that you could have gotten a 15% raise had you just been at a different brokerage, how would you feel about that? You're here to learn all about eXp Realty. Why? I don't know. Maybe because we just passed 85,000 agents globally. Maybe it's because you hear #1 teams and top brokerages and top agents from brokerages all over the country are rushing to join eXp. Maybe it's because last year we did over $3.8 billion in revenue. Whatever brought you here, you're here to find out the why. Why eXp? I hear this all the time. Every time I close a deal with an agent, or every time I meet somebody and they're like, why eXp? So I decided to start this eXp Explained series here to do a deep dive really on all the topics that are out there. People are asking questions about the things that you're not hearing anywhere else. Really break it down in depth, explanation in each video. If there is any specific topics you would like for me to cover, make sure you leave a description in the comments below, and I'll be sure to incorporate that into a video if I do not already have that planned. So obviously for the first video in this series, I want to talk about the basics. Let's talk about our commission structure. Let's talk about our fees. And if you stick around to the end, I'm going to actually show you this tool that I use. It's a calculator I built in Excel that will show you your numbers from your current brokerage to the eXp model and see what the differences would be in payment structures, how much you would have saved or lost depending on which way you're looking at it. If you want access to this calculator, I will leave a link in the description below. Feel free to use it, plug in your numbers. I'll leave a set of instructions with it. So it should be relatively straightforward. If you do have any questions, feel free to just book some time with me on my calendar. Just click the link in the description below and my calendar's up to date. So you book it and you get a direct Zoom call with me. Let's not waste any more time. Let's go ahead and dive right into these numbers. First, let me go ahead and preface this next part by saying these numbers are based on the US. Right? I'm an agent in the US. These are US numbers that could be different in other places. As you can see right here, the numbers in Canada are slightly different as well. I'll leave that up so you can take a look at that. But let's go ahead and dive into these numbers. You can see right off the top, we have a $149 startup fee. That is a one-time fee. You pay that when you join the brokerage, and that is to get things like your KV core set up and other things like that. You get all your paperwork filed. It basically covers everything you need to get started with eXp and the transition to start here. After that, we pay an $85 a month cloud brokerage fee. So this $85 a month pays for the over 900 employees that we have in the cloud. It pays for your KV core, right, which is normally what, like $500-600 a month for a single agent, and thousands of dollars for team leads and brokerages, as well as many other things, right? We use SkySlope for transaction processing, and this is all included in here. Also access to eXp World, everything is included in these $85 a month. I think it's pretty great. When I was getting ready to start my brokerage, I was examining a similar product. Wasn't as good as KV Core, but it was a similar product, and I was going to be paying, I want to say, I think it was like a little over $1,200 a month as an independent brokerage for this software. And then I joined eXp and I get a better one for essentially $85 a month. So definitely worth it. And for anyone who partners with me here at the Wolfpack, not only do you get access to all the other things we'll talk about in a future video, like the Social Agent Academy and Connor's Investor Army course, also I will go ahead and work with you and get your KV core set up, get some smart campaigns going. I have some templates that we can use. I give you a complete overview of how you should be using your KV core on a daily basis as a real estate agent. Again, if you want to book a call with me and learn more about that, link is in the description below. Let's go ahead and move forward. Quick recap, $149 startup fee, plus our $85 a month cloud brokerage fee. And then we have a $25 broker review. This is a per transaction fee. So every transaction you do, it's $25 for broker review. And then you have a $40 risk management fee. That is capped at $500 for the year. So once you hit $500, you no longer will pay that $40 risk management fee. That's essentially paying your errors and omissions insurance. Moving on to the commission and cap. As you can see, we earn an 80-20 split with a $16,000 cap. Yes, I know, unheard of. It's great. I love it too. After you cap, you actually keep 100% of your commission for the remainder of the anniversary year. That is also capped at $5,000. Once you pay those $5,000 into the brokerage, or 20 transactions after capping, you are essentially known as an icon agent and you receive an icon award. Again, we'll talk about that in a future video. Make sure you subscribe if you do want to learn all about these ins and outs and these programs that eXp does offer. Once you're awarded the icon agent status, your transaction fee drops down to $75 and it remains that way for the remainder of the anniversary year. Also, did I mention when you become an icon agent, you get your $16,000 cap back in the form of company stock? Again, subscribe if you want to learn more. It is crazy. You guys need to take advantage of this opportunity. One little tidbit I did forget to mention about the $85 monthly fee. Unlike another brokerage, right? Like if you're in a franchise brokerage, any of the big ones, I don't need to name them, you know them all. There are many agents like myself who live here in Illinois who are also licensed in like places like Florida. We end up having to pay fees in 2 separate states because of this. With eXp, you pay an $85 monthly fee no matter how many states you're licensed in and no matter how many states you're practicing real estate in. Your cap is all one cap per annual year, no matter if you're in 4 different states, right? So eXp is able to do this because we are a cloud-based brokerage and not a franchise model. Moving right along, I wanted to show you using real numbers. These are the numbers of somebody, I obviously have their permission, but these are the numbers of an agent who recently joined eXp. These are his 2021 numbers. Basically, I'm just taking those numbers, I'm plugging them into my calculator. Again, if you want access to this calculator or want to talk about your numbers with me, and either use the link in the description below or book a call with me. Using his actual numbers, we're going to plug these into the calculator and show the difference just based on numbers alone. We're not talking about the equity opportunities we get here, the stock awards we get here for the different achievements, the icon status where you get those $16,000 back, revenue share. We're not talking about any of those things. These are strictly if you just did the same thing you did at another brokerage. If you did it here last year using those numbers, we're going to look at the difference in the amount of income he actually would have received if he had been at eXp in 2021. We're going to go ahead and dive into these numbers. He had 21 million. We're just going to call it 21.5 million. We're going to actually round it down a little bit, and it was across a span of 47 transactions. Killer year. The first thing you want to notice here, I'm just going to go ahead and pause the video here. The first thing we want to actually look at is the fact that I actually made a mistake in making this spreadsheet calculator was not as pretty as it was, prior to me making this video. So in an attempt to try to make it pretty, I actually missed combining some fees that I was having before. So basically right here, I had this broken out previously. So I used to have the transaction fees and the post icon agent transaction fees all listed separately. So that'd be the $75 fee versus the $250 fee after you cap, where I didn't include that when I actually recorded the video. I didn't pop that in here somewhere. So I actually removed that piece right here that showed the $5,000 cap, and I just decided to include all transaction fees in here. So as you can see from what I had when I recorded the video to what I have now, there's about a $1,500 difference in the amount of money paid to the brokerage. That being said, as you can see, it doesn't affect the numbers or the outcome that much. So I'm going to go ahead, just leave this edit in here. Maybe put up the correct numbers, paste them over, what you're seeing on the screen. This is a $32,000 difference in the amount of money you're paying into the brokerage. That's insane. You can see the total to eXp is only $6,600. And I know you're going to say, well, how is that? Because you pay $16,000 cap. Once you're issued that icon agent award that we talked about and you become known as an icon agent, you're actually awarded your $16,000 cap back in the form of company stock. I know I said I wasn't going to get into any of the additional programs or anything, but I felt knowing you can get a $16,000 cap return to you, that's worth talking about in this video. At least I'm just going to be open and transparent about it and let you know I'm counting that in there anyway. Even if you add those $16,000 back, it's only going to bring you up to about $22,000. So you're still about a $10,000 difference, which is still great. That's $10,000 in your pocket. Let's go through some of these fees and then we'll talk about the agent income and the difference there. We got the monthly fees on the eXp side, $85 a month times 12, $1,020. The transaction fees are capped at $5,000. So again, if you're an icon agent, you pretty much are already capped. So you have $5,000 there. Your broker review fees, that's those $25 per transaction. So you end up paying a little over $1,000 at eXp. And then your risk management fees, which again, essentially is your errors and omissions insurance. And that's capped at $500 to pay for that. Total $6,675. If we look on the other side, we can see that he ended up paying $1,200 for monthly fees. They paid $100 a month for their fees there. And then they actually had a 2.5% franchise fee, which equates to $14,000. Just a little, just a smidge above $14,000, which I don't know about you, but that's a lot of money. I don't care who you are, $14,000. If it could be in my pocket, it should be in my pocket. I'm just saying. And then they had a $23,000 commission cap. So that's the cap they pay into the agent. And again, he was an icon agent, or who would have been here at eXp. So he obviously paid that much in cap. We're looking at $38,000 that he paid to that brokerage. So if we come down to the income difference here, you can see I did include that Icon Agent Award as part of this. Again, if we took that away, we're still at like over $60,000 in difference here, which is still a significant amount of money. Now, let me ask you this. If I took your numbers from last year, $21.5 million over a span of 47 transactions, and I showed you that you could have gotten a 15% raise had you just been at a different brokerage, how would you feel about that? And this is just based on the commission alone, right? We're not talking about the equity we get with the eXp through stock awards, which again, we'll talk about in a different video, the revenue share, the Icon Award. We talked about it a little bit, but we haven't gone in depth on it, right? These are just the numbers, and you can see that's a significant difference. And then if you start adding in things like revenue share and equity, if you look at the wealth quadrant, you can see this is how we build wealth. Again, we'll talk about that in a future video as well. I just wanted you to see the difference here of $81,000. And I'll be fair, I'll take away the 16, we'll round it up to 20, and we'll call it still a $61,000 difference in income. I don't know about you, but that's a significant difference to me. Obviously, because I'm here, I'm all about the numbers. If you want to learn more, book a call with me.